Nightwolf has always been one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters growing up. I adore the character's design and his moveset, and I knew for a fact that I wanted to make a video centered around him one day. One of the things I wanted to do was to make a challenge run in which I am allowed to use summons, and thankfully, Nightwolf is known for doing just that. Specifically, he can summon a wolf, an eagle, and a bear. Elden Ring has stand-ins for both the wolf and the eagle. The only thing sorely missing is a rune bear summon. Hopefully, From Software will add that in the DLC. Fingers crossed. And to balance out the difficulty, as I am going to be using summons, I will not be allowed to level up. So the basic rules are, I need to defeat the Elden Beast, I am not allowed to level up, I can only deal damage with bows and axes, as the Tomahawk is Nightwolf's primary weapon, with his bow being his secondary weapon, and I will be allowed to use the Lone Wolves and the Warhawk Ashes. With the quick intro out of the way, let's get to it. The overall best class for this build was the Vagabond, with a decent starting health, strength, and dexterity. After spending some quality time in the character editor, I ended up with this, and I gotta say, this is probably one of my finest works. So the first major thing on my to-do list was to unlock the ability to upgrade my summons. Then I moved on to grab the Physic Flask, the Dectus Medallion, the Spirit Calling Bell, and the Lone Wolf's Ashes from Rani, Radagon's Sword Seal, the Battle Axe from the Twin Maiden Husks, 2 Physic Tears, and both Smithing Stone Bell Bearings. With that done, I began playing the game by showing Margit who the real boss is, which wasn't all that difficult. One reason why I rarely resort to using Spirit Ashes is because they trivialize most if not all boss encounters, as bosses aren't programmed to fight multiple opponents at a time, and the Spirit Ashes that I had to use during this run weren't the best in the game, but they were good for one thing only, diverting the boss's attention from me to themselves. With the way to Stormveil Castle open, I got my main weapon for the majority of this run, it being the Highland Axe, got Gustok's Bell Bearing to acquire the Bandit set, because he just refused to sell it to me for some reason. Back in Stormveil, I completed the Prophecy Painting quest, task, thingy, to get the Warhawk Ash. Moving on to Altus Plateau, where I got the Ancient Dragon's Apostle Cookbook for the Lightning Bone Arrows, which I would be using quite a while later, and acquired the Errant Sorceress set exclusively because of the gauntlets, which look really good with this look. After that, I grabbed a whole lot of Graveglove Ward to upgrade both of my summons, and since I had the second talisman slot available, I got the Axe Talisman, since charged heavy attacks would have to be the go-to strat for most bosses.
Round 1, fight!
Speaking of bosses, it's beat up Godric o'clock.
Round 2, fight!
Moving on, I got the Green Turtle Talisman as stamina regen would be a major concern moving forward.
Round 1, fight!
So, the second shard bearer that I defeated during this run was Renala, but I either lost the footage or forgot to press the record button. So to make it up for you, here's me beating Radon with a plus 25 Highland Axe, no talismans, and no Physic Flask, after completing the challenge.
Fatality. Nightwolf wins. Flawless victory.
After that, I defeated the Draconic Tree Sentinel. Beating this guy legit would have been a major pain in my rear had it not been for the Spirit Summon's primary function, diverting aggro. After that, I explored the sewers of the capital to get the +7 Somber Stone, and got the Black Bow, which I found to be quite underwhelming after some time of using it. To be able to use it though, I would need the Dexterity tier, and after getting it, I went after Golden Shade Godfrey.
Round 1. Fight!
Morgoth was next on the list. A healthy dose on heavy attacks and proper dodges to avoid the damage was the way to go on this one. Once phase 2 rolled around, I pulled out the Warhawk Ash, which it didn't really do a whole lot in hindsight, but oh well.
Fight!
Bruh, look at this dude.
With that done, I was able to upgrade both of my ashes to +10 and moved over to the Fire Giant. It is at this point where a single hit from an enemy means death, so I had to, more or less, be perfect at dodging and choosing the proper windows of attack, which I am bad at both, but that's besides the point. It took me a solid amount of time to beat this guy, but with enough time and dedication, I came out on top. Godskin Duo time. Yeah, I hate my life. Sleep pods to the rescue it is. Perpetually putting these guys to sleep basically was the only way that I could complete this challenge, so yeah. I hate this boss fight, by the way. Since I could only take one hit from a boss before dying, I decided to get myself the Ritual Sword Talisman and moved on over to Malekith.
Round 1. Fight!
This guy becomes notoriously easy once you realize that he doesn't really have a lot of poise, making stance breaks one of the best strategies to use, which I was all too happy to do. Now, Gideon was a bit of a problem this time around, not gonna lie. The spirit summons came in clutch though, as honestly, if it weren't for their honorable sacrifices, I'd have most likely abandoned this run entirely. I then got the Strength Physic tier and the Star Scourge Heirloom, which together with the Radagon Source Seal would give me extra 20 levels into Strength, and since the Earth Tree started burning and the Round Table Hold became abandoned, I was able to get Nephili's Twin Axes, which most look like tomahawks, and then I went up against Godfrey.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. Round 1. Fight.
After the epic duel with Godfrey, Radagon and the Elden Beast were up next. The difficult part about this fight was obviously the Elden Beast, specifically his Elden Stars move. I cannot dodge it, I cannot tank the damage from it, so the only thing that I would be able to do to avoid it is to stance break the Elden Beast before he casts it. And while that may sound easy on paper, in practice it was really inconsistent, as the Elden Beast has a slight tendency to move around all over the place. Yeah, just a slight tendency.
Round 2. Fight.
With enough RNG, the miracle finally happened, and Nightwolf became the Elden Lord.
Nightwolf wins.